You've got big goals. You've got big dreams. You've got a huge vision for who you are as a man, as a woman, as a person walking this earth. You've got it written on your heart. You've known about it for a long time. You've been on the path trying to make it happen. And you've been putting in the work, but it's still not working out for you. You're still not where you want to be. You're still facing the same challenges that you were years ago. And I just want to say that if you're in that place, I hear you, I see you, I feel you, and I've been there. And I'm going to share some simple tips as to why you're still stuck in this place and what you can do to start getting out of it. Super glad you're here with me today. My name is Jason Krause. I'm a personal development coach. I've spent the last 15 years being a human guinea pig, putting myself through the ups and downs of this experience here on earth, making more mistakes than failures, I probably admit. And I'm here to share with you some of the things that I've learned along the way, both in myself and my own journey and in spending the last 5 years coaching people one-on-one and in my group program called the Flow Code. And one of the things I get so often is this experience of I've been putting in the work, I've been doing the things, why aren't things working out for me yet? And I've got some ideas, I've got some reasons why that's happening, and I want to go through them. The first one is, this might come off as a little bit of a tough pill to swallow, but you are not putting in enough effort. You're just not. You work hard in spurts, but you're not consistent enough. You work hard in spurts, but ultimately you're getting outworked by people who are succeeding in what you want to do. You are draining yourself, and we can get into what those things are later, but the simple fact is that you just don't know how to work hard enough yet. And that might be hard for you to hear because it might feel like it's hard. It might feel like you're already at your limits. You're stretching yourself. And I get that. And that's valid. I want you to know that that is valid. Not just in some like weak therapist kind of way, but it is true. Like your experience is true. You probably are at your limits in some sense. But what you've yet to dedicate yourself to is the expansion of your own limits. Is getting to the point where you're physically exhausted, where you're worn out, where you're mentally tired, and made a consistent effort over time to shift the narrative that you are telling yourself in those moments. Because I'll tell you what I did. What I did was I would get to those moments and I would say, I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I can't handle any more of this. I need a break. And what did I create? A life where I took a break, where I couldn't handle it, where I reached my limit. And what I realized was that if I want to get to where I'm going, what needs to change is not the world around me, is not luck, is not things just magically falling into place, but my own experience of myself, my own experience of overwhelm, the stories that I was telling myself about what I was feeling. And this isn't about self-gaslighting. This isn't about ignoring how you feel. It's quite the contrary. It's about recognizing that I feel a certain way and making a choice to be the author of what I tell myself about that thing. We have the choice of being able to say, I feel exhausted, I feel burnt out, I feel drained, I can't do anymore. Or we have the ability to say, what physical sensations am I actually feeling? What does tiredness even feel like? What does burnt outness even feel like? And we can take 5, 10, 20 minutes and just actually sit with ourselves and our body. Here's the truth, guys. Your body is the ultimate teacher. When you learn how to listen to your body, you are going to be supercharged with energy. Because let me tell you this, the way that you have been operating, which is the way that 99% of people operate, is a force-based way. You've been operating where you and your mind try to override the sensations in your body, try to override what's happening. And all that's good and well for a period of time, but then it completely turns around and your body fights back. So what you want to do is learn how to develop this skill of listening to your body consistently. And when you can do that, what that allows you to do is make conscious choices in the moment where you're tired, where you feel like, man, I am at the end of my limit. I'm at the end of my rope here. How can I possibly go on? And what you might find is that the story that you're telling yourself is a story that you heard growing up. It's a story that you've told yourself before, and it may not be true. What may be true, like it was for me, was that when I got into those moments, what I started telling myself was, this is what I asked for. I prayed for this. I prayed for this level of overwhelm. I prayed for these amount of challenges. I've got multiple businesses. I've got a wife. I've got my dad living in our house with us. I've got so much on my plate right now. Got 30 plus clients. I have a lot going on. And I love it. It's everything that I asked for. But as I entered into this world where I was constantly adding more and more and more, I was telling myself, this is too much. I can't. I'm just overwhelmed. I need help. I'm exhausted. I can't do it. And it was coming from this place of despair. It was coming from this place of panic. It was coming from this place of, I can't. I'm not enough. I can't do it. And I'm telling you, the shift that I've made is just the story that I'm telling myself about it. I'm not pretending that I don't feel it. I'm not pretending that I don't feel these things. No, I'm feeling them and telling myself a different story about them. I'm experiencing them with appreciation. I have a mentor who said, appreciation is the currency of the universe. And I like to say appreciation is the grease of the wheels of change. Appreciation is the grease of the wheels of transformation. So if you're stuck, appreciation is sort of a catch-all option for you, that you can just appreciate what's happening. It allows you to see more clearly. It allows you to go out of the tunnel vision, out of the sympathetic nervous system and into the sympathetic nervous system, where you're able to see, you're able to rest, you're able to digest, you're able to go through the processes to find internal peace. So this process needs to happen if you're to put in the effort that is required to go where you want to go. You got that big vision, it's going to require so much more from you than what you're capable of now. But you know what can feel overwhelming about that is thinking about what it's going to be like in 6 months to a year. Instead, focus on the daily process. If I had looked 2 years ago at what I'm experiencing now, I'd have been like, oh my God, this is way too overwhelming. I can't handle it. But what I've done is make a consistent daily practice of expanding my capacity to hold, expanding my capacity to think, expanding my capacity to still tell myself stories that serve and empower me in moments of stress and overwhelm and anxiety. And every single day, I've gently nudged myself into a bigger and bigger capacity. And you can do the same thing. So don't necessarily think 2 years down the line. Just think about tomorrow. Just think about if you faced the same thing tomorrow that you're facing today, that you'd handle it no problem. Because when you start to do that, it'll expand a little bit and a little bit and a little bit each day. And you'll never note it. You'll never be hit with something that's more than you can handle. Okay? You need this if you want to have the year, have the life that you want to have. You need to be able to push. You need to be able to work hard in order to get there. You need to be able to put the total amount of effort in. And I want you to have that. Number 2, you get distracted too easily. You get distracted too easily. You get a little bit of success in one area, and then you entirely shift your focus into something else. And then the area in which you had success fizzles out, and then you're back at square one, and you're not able to make progress over time. And you're talking with someone who is the king of distractions. I have made a history of distracting myself, of going down different rabbit holes. Here's the truth, guys. You are allowed to get as distracted as you want. One of my buddies, Andrew, is a former professional baseball player. he was telling me about his podcast he listened to where the guy recommended that, you know, people go down these paths of curiosity. And that ultimately, like an athlete who learns a bunch of sports, people that go down several different paths of curiosity can somehow pull them together and put them together in a way that is unique, that is building the skill set of adaptability. And I really love this idea. And I think it's very true. However, what we don't get to do is say, okay, I'm going down this pathway, I'm going down that pathway, I'm going down that pathway. And I'm frustrated by the fact that I'm not making progress in the thing that I want to make progress on. You need to give yourself grace. You either need to say, I'm willing to slow down, or I'm willing to not get distracted. I'm willing to just focus on the same thing. I'm willing to just stick with something until I get it working. And I'm willing to stick with it, not just to the finish line, but past the finish line. I'm able to put energy into this consistently, whether or not it fails or succeeds, because I actually enjoy the process of doing it. That's the place that is going to be the most magical place for you to be, is when you are able to see what you want and make a choice about, am I going to paddle there directly, or am I going to allow myself to take the scenic route? There's nothing wrong with taking the scenic route. You just don't also get to complain that you're not moving fast enough. So I encourage you to think about, are these distractions that I'm choosing, are these various paths that I'm going down, are they actually helping me in the long run? Are they helping me in the 10-year vision? Are they helping me enjoy my life more? Or are they causing so much pain, heartache, and suffering that it's actually not helping me at all, that is actually distracting me from where I'll be in 10 years? And these are the ways that I want you to start thinking about these types of things, because we can also end up in shame spirals about distraction, and we don't really want to go there. So take this on. Are you distracting yourself? Are you putting your energy into things that don't really matter? If you are, great. Just don't also complain about not being where you want to be. Number 3, you are not consistent enough. You haven't mastered the idea of consistency. And when I speak about consistency, I mean a very specific thing that's actually oriented towards consistency of thought. Consistency of thought is going to do much more for you in the long run than consistency of action, because consistency of thought precedes consistency of action. You can sort of fake it till you make it, but eventually those things tend to burn out. They are often not sustainable. But consistent thinking can actually be sustainable. Consistently reframing your experience towards a place of appreciation, towards a place of peace, towards a place of groundedness, towards a place of empowerment, towards a place of freedom, expression, creativity. Consistently choosing to view the situation you're in through a lens that empowers you to get to where you're going is perhaps the most important skill set that you can develop when it comes to being consistent. And we all know how important it is to be consistent. Julian, who's my dear friend and mentor, would say, the universe rewards the consistent and the bold. And most of us struggle with at least one of those things. Some of us struggle with both of those things, but many of us struggle with consistency. And so consistency is so important. And there is some amount of it where I'm going to get into the 4th thing, which is that you lower your standards. You are willing to allow yourself to slide. You allow yourself to hide in the gray areas of the human experience. If someone's not holding you to something, you don't fully do it. Like if you're, I always remember like running laps around a soccer field or a football field, and like if no one was there, you're the type of person who cuts the corner when no one's looking. You're the type of person who, when everybody's looking and everybody's doing it, yeah, sure, I'll be in line. But then the coach turns his head, there's nobody around, you cut the line. You don't hold yourself to the standard within yourself. Your standards are a performance. Your standards are a performance for other people. The relationship that you get to have with your standards is the relationship between you and God. This is between you and your Creator. This is your willingness to allow yourself to show up in ways that are unprofessional, that are less than who you are. Whether it's you're out partying, you're out drinking, you're out, you're not taking care of your appearance, you're not taking care of your clothes, you're not taking care of your energy levels, you're not taking care of your professionalism. This is really important. These are the things that are robbing you of getting the results that you're looking for. Start making that commitment to being the person that you want to be, even when no one's looking. And it doesn't have to become a heavy thing. If it starts to feel heavy, you're not doing it right. If it starts to feel forceful, you're not doing it right. You do these things because it gives you the gift of experiencing yourself that way. You don't cut the corner because it gives you the gift of experiencing setting yourself to a standard and holding yourself to that standard. It's a gift. It's a gift that you give yourself, and it puts you on the path of getting where you want to go. And I know you get tired, and I know you get overwhelmed, and I know you put too much on your plate. And that's why it's important to embody these other things that I'm speaking about, so that you can put yourself in position to succeed. And I just want you to know that if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you being here. I'd love to know what resonated most with you. Let me know in the comments. Follow along, and I'd love to know how else I can help you. If you have any other ideas for me, if you have any other questions, just let me know in the comments, or you can send me an email. Love you.